Good morning, friends. Today we are going to understand inclusive retail in detail. Now, these are the most important operations available in inclusive retail and how do you use them and make the best use of the software. We are here all to welcome customers. So the basic steps with inclusive retail is to search a customer if he's already existing in your database or to create a new customer. Add some basic details of the customer and create a new customer, and then you can update them later. Post which we would look at how we create an activity and enter the selections of the customer, that is the fabrics or the items the customer has shortlisted. We will also learn how you take some advance from the customer, arrange for measurement visits, take their measurements, record them in the computer. How do you make quotations and issue them to the customer? And then finally convert these quotations to order. And eventually, after you approve the order, how to purchase the fabrics based on these sales orders. So let's dive into the software and learn how to do all this. So typically here I've logged into the software and you can see my dashboard. So on the left-hand side, you see a lot of menus, out of which the primary menu that is of importance to us is the customers menu. I click on the customers menu. On the customers menu, I reach the screen where I can search an existing customer based on their name, their mobile number, by the activity or the deal that we have worked for them, by their billing name, or by the architect. So a typical thing would be that an architect calls you up and says, you know what, tell me about X customer of mine. So when I'm looking with an architect, I see that the architect has got two customers and I can go into the customer that they want to speak about and look into the activity and then get further into the activity of the customer and I can understand what all has happened in that project. However, if you want to add a new customer, you have this create contact button on the top right hand side. You can click on create contact and here you need to enter the name of the customer. So, and you need to enter their mobile number. If you have their address, you can enter it right away, but in most cases, the customer would not be providing their address initially. So you can skip all this. If the customer has a different billing address than his name, so Paresh here has a firm in which he needs to get the billing, you can add the billing address also here. However, if you don't have any of these information, you can add them later. The important thing to note here is you have architect or sales support coming here. So here you get the list of architects already available in the system. If this customer has come through an existing architect, you can select them from the drop down here. If it's through a new architect, you have this small plus sign out here and you can click on that and add a new architect. So I've added this new firm of architects and that's already saved. And just to note that the Pune Chennai architect has also been added to the architect master. So we've added this customer. So we know this is his name, his mobile number, which city he's come from, and what is the architect. Now you typically need to create a deal for the customer or an activity for the customer. This is basically why he has approached you. So a typical thing to do in this case is to click on the new activity and you create a new deal name. So I'll say Paresh 3 BHK flat. And maybe if you want to put in the area, I am putting in the area as, okay. Now, if the architect tells me the budget of the customer, I can put in a deal amount. However, I can always update this later. So I don't really know how much is the customer willing to spend. I'll put it as 1 rupee right now. And if I want to select a salesman who's been dealing with a customer, I can select a salesman. I select Yogesh and I save the activity. Now, here what I come to know is I know this is Paresh, this is his phone number. I'm just copying it for showing you something. This is his deal name and who's been attending him and which day did he come to which store. So all this information is there. And if you have a deal amount, you can also see it clearly out here. So now if nothing has happened and this customer comes back to you, you can ask him for his mobile number and you can search him typically by his mobile number. You also can search him by the deal name. So when he says I'm Paresh, so and I've got a flat in Koregaon Park, I can just click on the deal. And here I directly see the deal. So I can click on the deal and enter the deal directly. So now when I come into the deal, I can see whether any activity has happened, any visits have happened, any measurements have been taken, products, reminders, advances, value-added services, orders, quotations, invoice. So I see there's nothing which has happened with this customer. So typically the flow would start with the customer shortlisting a few products. So I can click on a new product here, select the product category, and select all the collections available in them. I select Atlantic and I select a particular serial number. Now, sales description. Now, the moment you select the product and the fabric, you can see the unit measurement of the product and the MRP of the product. So when you want to tell the prices to the customer, you can select a fabric and you can tell the prices to the customer. Now, sales description means the description which gets printed on your quotations to the customer, your sales invoices, your sales orders, so that you don't have to reveal the name of the collection and the serial number. Typically, as a retailer, you would not want to reveal the exact collection name to the customer so that they go shopping around in the market. So you can give a sales description. These sales descriptions can be added by the quick plus sign out here. So I can add that it's like the, so I've added this sales description and I can select that. Now we've got a calculator by which you can decide upon the quantity. So I select fabric, and if I have the calculation, I can use that. If I don't have it, I can leave that for now and I can put in 1 meter and I can select which room this is and I can add this. Similarly, if I have another collection to select, and I can select the other description. So I'll put again 1 meter because I don't know the measurements, and I put this as living room and put it. Now I'm taking another selection. So I've taken 2 fabrics for the living room and 1 for the master bedroom. Always remember to click on the update activity, because unless you click that, if you navigate somewhere else, these selections that you've made don't get registered in the system. So you need to click on update activity. Now you see in the products, you've got what all the customer has selected. Typically, you would want to ask for an advance from the customer. So you can click on new advance. You can put in the advance that you've asked from the customer, put in the advance date and add it. Again, don't forget to update the activity out here. Once you do this, you are next required to arrange for a visit to the customer's place to take their physical measurements. So you can do that in the measurement section. So I go to the visits, I click on new visit, and I'm selecting Yogesh that he's going to take the measurements out there, and I'm putting in measurements. Out here, I can add in the notes that I want to be displayed to the customer. And you can select the date and time on which you want to have this appointment. You click on the date here and on the times here. So you can select the time. If you double click it, you know exactly. So I want to do it at 6 p.m. So I click on this. So now for today at 6 p.m., the appointment is fixed. I want to email the customer. I can click here now. I hadn't put in an email ID for Paresh at the time of registering the customer. So if I want to quickly add in an email ID here, I can do that. But this is not getting updated in the customer's master database. So I'm just putting it here. And if I want, at that point in time, I can also modify my customer and update his email ID. So I can always keep doing the customer modifications at any point in time. So now I have an email ID also for the customer. Typically, Yogesh has also got a mobile app from Incluziv Retail on which he gets an intimation or the data that he has to visit Mr. Paresh today at 6 p.m. Now, as this happens on your dashboard, also there is a visit reminder which comes in, which shows you that today at 6 p.m. at Mr. Paresh's place, this is phone number Yogesh is supposed to visit. So if you have a central agency which manages all these appointments, so they can call up Mr. Paresh and just reconfirm the time and reconfirm the visit for today. Now you also have an appointment calendar out here which tells you who is busy for which day. So say for example, you want to typically arrange for a meeting in the next couple of days. So you see only Yogesh is busy and he's busy on the 26th. So if you want to see which other day he can take appointments. This is the appointment diary or the appointment calendar, looking at which you can further schedule appointments for any other new customer who may come your way. Now, Yogesh would be typically going to the customer's place, and once he is there, he'll take those measurements and update them in his mobile phone, which will then automatically be visible out here. However, if he is not using a mobile phone there and he was wanting to send those measurements over to the office, you can enter those measurements out here as well. You can select the room and you can give the window reference and you can put in the measurements. Now, this is a pure text kind of a measurement. We are incorporating the calendar out here also and the calculator out here also, due to which the measurements can come in properly. So you can update this activity, and basis this, you now want to generate a quotation for the customer because now you have the quantity. So you can either modify it by clicking here and update the quantity one by one, or you can select all these material and click on convert to quotation. When you go to convert to quotation, you are able to make the changes to the quantities out here. Out here in the CRM details, you will also be able to check out on any details of the customer that has put in the CRM level. Now here also we will incorporate the calculator so that you can see the measurements from here in the CRM details and enter the calculations in the calculator, which will then get copied to the quantities out here. So I'm just assuming that the calculation has been done physically right now, and we are at a place where we want to order. So automatically the rates have come in. Now, if there's any discount that you want to provide, you can provide a discount. So this is the discount that has been agreed upon. Now, say for example, you have a case where you are giving excessive discount. So if the discount is beyond a certain point, so if I put 60% discount, I am not authorized to put in more than 50%, so I'm not allowed to do that. If the discount is too large, it may change this red to this green tab to a red one. So let me see if I can show that to you. No, I think all these have enough margins. So the discounts are basically just about enough. So I'm given 5% discount here to one item. If I want to add more items, I can add them to the quotation from here. And if there's any value added services, so I'm just putting in a curtain eyelet tailoring for the bedroom and a curtain stitching for the living room in 2 quantities. Now these rates are again editable out here. So if you want to change the rates while you are entering them, you can do that. You can click on proceed. And here now you have the entire details of the product. This is the description. This is all the details that you have. And if you want to send an email, you can click on this. The automated email comes filled up. I'm not sending an email, and you can create a quotation. While you create a quotation, you have the print facility. In the print facility, if you see, I will expand this a little. So here you see only the descriptions have come and they've been grouped by the room. So living room, whatever fabrics we had shortlisted come in with the unit of measurement as meters. The stitching doesn't have a UOM, and you get the subtotal for the room. So the master bedroom, again, what is the subtotal for the master bedroom? If there is any advance which has been provided, the advance is printed out here. Although this is the total amount of the project, and these bank details are already available in the system. Now, this is the quotation which will go out to the customer. Now, you can alternately have an office copy of the quotation, which is known as the office copy print. Now, what is the difference here? The difference is here you see the name of the fabric along with the details which are available. So Amsterdam 8901, which is sold as window curtain to the customer. Atlantic 12, which is again sold as window fabrics for bedroom. So this is the total value of the project, and this can be printed and kept for your office purposes. So once the quotation has been made, anytime the customer calls you back, you can see what all has happened in this deal. So when anybody in the reception looks at the quotations tab, they can see this quotation, that there are few options in the quotation. They can modify it, they can do a print, they can convert it to an order, they can cancel or close the quotation, they can view what has happened, resend the email or clone the quotation. So ideally what happens is when you send out the quotation, there could be requests for some additional discount or modifications, or the customer want to add a few products, maybe remove a few products. So all that cycle would keep happening, and all that can be handled by the edit quotation or the clone quotation. When you edit a quotation, the quotation number remains same and you are making modifications to the existing quotation. If you close this quotation by any chance and you want to recreate a new quotation, you can clone that quotation and a new quotation would be created with a new number, and that can be sent to the customer. It depends upon what is the best practices that you want to follow as an organization. I'm presently going to edit this quotation as the customer has requested some changes in discount. So I'm offering another additional 2% discount here and additional 3% discount on this particular item. So I'm updating all this. I click on proceed, and if you see, the discount becomes 7% and 3% respectively, and I'm modifying this quotation. Now, once the quotation has been created, I can view the quotation either inside the customer's life cycle or activity details, or you can go to sales orders and you have something known as quotation list here, and I can select by the customer name or the mobile number or the quotation number. So if I remember the customer name, I can search by that, or if I remember the quotation number, I can search by the quotation number. Now, inside the quotation, again, I get the same list of facilities. I am just converting this to a sales order. So I'm just taking this quotation and converting it to a sales order, assuming that there has been an approval from the customer. So now all that changes that I had made at the quotation get auto-populated out here. If you want to make any changes to the quantity or to the rates or to the discounts, you can do it at the quotation level. Typically, if your customer tells that, your quotation is fine, but give me another 2% discount and finalize the order, you don't need to resend the quotation again. You can convert it to an order. And while doing so, you can make the necessary modifications. Again, if you want to add a new product at the time of making a quotation, at the time of making a sales order, you can do that as well. And if you want to add any picture to the items, you can add that also at the time of creating a sales order. So I am proceeding here and I'm creating an order. Now, once this order is created, I have the value added services which I had taken at the time of quotation. I'm selecting those and I'm now linking the fabric to the value added services. If you remember, at the time of quotation, we had only linked the value added services to the room, but not to the fabric. Now you could have more than one fabric to the same room. Now, which fabric goes for what activity, you have to decide. So now I'm selecting both these living room fabrics for this particular activity, this particular value added services. Now, if you know that which date you have to supply this to the customer, you can select a customer expected date. For example, the customer expects this curtain by the 10th of March. So I can select this here. I can update the value added services. The remaining value added services will be shown here. Automatically, the expected date for the next fabric would also be the first one. However, if I want, I can change that. I can select this. I can update the value added services again here, and the order is completely done. Now this order goes in for approval because we have given a setting in the masters wherein each sales order has to come for approval. However, if you feel that you don't want this extra check, all your orders would directly go into an auto approved stage. Now this is given so that somebody at the store can decide whether or not to approve this order, and basis that you can take further decisions. Now, if you look at this deal, inside this, you can click on the order and you can see the order number. One thing I forgot to mention was that green patch on top will be visible only to those people who have an authority to approve an order, and they can click on that and directly approve an order. Now, for others, this will be available on the dashboard, orders for approval, and you see the latest order on top, and you can click on that order And you can see what all has happened, the order value, the previous outstanding, if any, what is the advance that is coming. Are all the three items in the green zone? What is the discounts that is given? There is a sales order print also that is available, which has got all the details again without the name of the exact fabric and with the name of the fabric. So you have all those details coming out here, and you have all the value added services also. Now you can approve it here, or you can ask for more advance and then approve it. I'm just for convenience sake, I'm assuming that we are getting more advance and I'm approving this order. Once you approve this order, it will be available for purchasing or procurement from the various suppliers that sell you this material. So I'm approving this order, and this makes the order available for procurement, and it moves out from the approval stage. So let's keep learning with inclusive retail.